All right, guys, so we got to talk about this again. So-called new media is an absolute disgrace, and I'm going to prove it to you yet again. So the other day, we had Tim Pool in there, which, by the way, he was berating Zelensky for not wearing a suit. Then he shows up there, and he's not wearing a fucking suit, and he's got his beanie on. It was 80 degrees in Washington, D.C. He's sitting there with a fucking winter beanie on his head. We get it, dude. You're bald. Get over it. Nobody cares. You're the only one that cares. Okay, so he shows up. He gets the first question. His question is basically like, why is it that the media is so horrible and so terrible and they spread hoaxes all the time? So talk a little bit about how shitty they are and then how good I am. Like that was, I mean, this is embarrassing. This is embarrassing shit. Look, I said in the previous segment, I'll say it again. I've interviewed politicians before. Now, I don't do it often, and I don't want to do it often, to be honest. But in the instances where I do, you got to try to at least ask some tough questions, even if you ideologically agree with the person you're talking to. You got to ask some real questions, some tough questions, some oppositional questions. But these guys, they have no core. They have no values. This is the same guy who took money from Lauren Chen's company, Tenet Media, and that company took hundreds of thousands of dollars from the Russian government. Tim takes that money and goes, oh, sorry, I just thought it was some shady, shadowy billionaire who was given the money, so I was fine with taking it. I don't know it was the Russian government. When your dodge is, I thought I was just selling out to a billionaire. I didn't know I was selling out. That's when you know you're fucked. That's when you know you're cooked. You're fried. It's over. It's a wrap. So anyway, that was the other day, the Tim Pool thing. But now, guys, we have so many more examples in such a short time frame since then. We have so many more examples. So fascist Barbie press secretary Carolyn Levitt does one of these, hearings with all new media people are in there, right? All the people that are in there are the handpicked new media ghouls. But what that means to the Trump regime is outlets that'll suck us off. That's who they want in this new media hearing, which gives a bad name to all of new media. So anyway, here's one example. This one, as Mediaite reports, new media reporter straight up asks Carolyn Levitt to tell her what to cover. Quote, what direction do you advise me to go in? You wouldn't know it from watching this show now, but there was a time when I was so excited about the prospect of what new media could accomplish, what independent media could accomplish. We were supposed to be special. We were supposed to be different. It was supposed to be, hey, those guys are corrupted by big donors. Over here, we're not. We're online. We're not on TV. I don't have a boss. I could just tell the truth and let whatever happens happen. I can crowdfund through Patreon like we do, so I don't have to worry about some, overlord telling me, hey, you broach that topic. I don't want you to broach that topic because I pay you. There was so much hope in this space, and now it's gone. Because seemingly, 95% of the people in this space are just total fucking corporate whores and total sellouts, and in this case, regime sellouts. All right, here we go.
Go ahead. Thank you for having us here. I've noticed, this is kind of like a repeat of 2016, the legacy media has gone back to not reporting anything on President Trump. In the beginning, we had them reporting everything that he was doing. Now they're kind of going back again to not reporting everything that he is actually doing.
What the fuck is she talking? Of course are you kidding me? They're covering everything. They're covering, now, maybe their focus is not exactly as I would want it, but of course they're covering fucking what are you talking about? Oh my God. Oh my God. What is this? What is this? They just make shit up.
I'm kind of the nerd when it comes to reporting. I'm not the headline news girl. I'm the nuts and bolts. I'm the policy type nerd.
Really? You're such a policy nerd. You're such a policy wonk that you didn't realize that the media has been talking about what Trump is doing? How many stories have there been just within the past 2 days on the fucking tariffs that are destroying the economy? How many have there been? How many have there been on the fact that Trump's policies led to a 0.3% contraction in the economy? How many stories have there been on the fact that now there's inflation, so we're looking at stagflation? How many stories are there on the kidnappings and human traffickings that they call deportations, which they're not, because there's no due process? How many stories have there been on the fucking warmongering with Canada?
What direction do you advise kind of me to go into, like the White House files that y'all send out every single day? Yeah. Because that's what people are used to when they want to ask me questions. They want to know kind of like the nuts and bolts of everything.
First of all, shut the fuck up. I can't, this is advice for everybody who's involved in public speaking in any way, shape, or form. Wrap it up. Wrap it up, wrap it up, wrap it up, wrap it up, wrap it up. Nobody cares. Shut the fuck up. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about your long-winded ass, boring ass, rambling ass rant. Nobody cares. Get to the fucking point. Get to the point. This drives me crazy. This is like the first time anybody's ever asked her to talk in real life. So she's like, how about I ramble for 5 fucking minutes? Nobody cares. What are you even saying? It's one thing if you talk long, but you're actually saying shit that packs a punch. It's another thing if you just fucking babble. And her thing was, hey, what do you advise I talk about? You have a chance to talk to the White House press secretary, and your question is, hey, what do you think I should talk about? What do you think I should cover? I'm going to lose it.
Secondly, I know going into the first 100 days, Johnson's meeting with President Trump today. President Trump has issued a lot of executive orders. What about codifying? Is that going to be a conversation President Trump is going to have with him about possibly a timeline of just taking them from EOs into codifying them, into making them permanent, so we don't have another president that comes in, possibly a Democrat, that completely overturns everything that President Trump has done?
Yes.
Codifying the executive orders. That's a great idea. Let's look at some of those executive orders while we're at it. Remember the one that effectively increased the price of drugs? Remember that? He signed an executive order that got rid of a Biden order, which lowered prescription drug prices. You want to go ahead, try to codify that. Get that through the House, get that through the Senate. That'll go great, I'm sure. I'm sure Republicans cannot wait to get their name down on that sheet of paper, which validates, yes, we would like higher drug prices. How about the one that got rid of the anti-corruption rules for Trump's cabinet? That was another executive order he signed on day one. Let's get rid of the anti-corruption rules. Yeah, go for it. And by the way, what a fucking naive question. She doesn't even realize that all this shit Trump is doing through executive orders, they're not like, oh, we haven't gone through the proper process yet to really get this accomplished. They're already acting on it. They're acting on it. Why the fuck would they? He's ruling by decree. Her question was, what do you think I should cover? What do you think I should talk about? What are you doing in this field? Go do something else. Go do something. Like, what are you doing? What? Humiliating. I'm not even close to done, bro. I'm not even close to. So Gateway Pundit, for those of you who don't know, is one of the most conspiracy-brained, idiotic far-right-wing sites. They've been around for a long time. They were there under the Obama administration. I believe it was them that covered stories about how when Obama visited Africa, he turned into a demon. A demon ran in front of the camera. They cover that shit and they pretend like it's real. This is like a source that Alex Jones uses from time to time. So somehow they brought in the Gateway Pundit people because they have zero fucking standards. As long as you suck them off, you could ask as many questions as you want. And here we go. This is what it looks like when the Trump administration, we are welcoming in new media because they do better work than the mainstream media. How does this sound compared to the mainstream media, the evil mainstream media?
Jordan Conrad's doing the Gateway Pundit. I wanted to get your response on the leftist media. They're trying to hide the mugshots that are featured on the front lawn of rapists, murderers, pedophiles. What do you think of that? Aren't they proving to be the enemy of the people?
Sir, can you please talk about the evil leftist media that are hiding the mugshots that you put up on the lawn of gangsters and pedophiles and rapists? Are they the enemy of the people, sir? Wait for Trump's response.
Well, I guess they are, right? Thank you. Who are you with?
I like your hat, by the way.
Who are you with?
The Gateway Pundit, sir.
Mr. President.
That's literally why they do it, too, right? That little pat on the head he gave. Good little boy. Good little boy. Now deep throat me. Good little boy. Why don't you ask another sycophantic bitch-ass question where I can go, that's a good point. You're right. What a disgusting. And by the way, the media was not. The media did cover. They showed the pictures that they had at the White House. But, of course, that's a disgusting thing to do. Back in the day, in like the dark ages, you know this, the king would fucking behead his opponents and put their head on a pike right in front of the castle to warn, like, don't fucking cross me. Look, we behead people and put their head on a pike. They're doing the modern day equivalent of that. They're doing like some bullshit. Here's pictures of bad guys who we deported or something. Okay. What does that have to do with Kilmar Abrego Garcia, who has no criminal record and is totally innocent, and you guys admitted you deported in error, and now you still have him at a concentration camp with no due process? How does that absolve you of that? I can't deal, man. I can't deal. I mean, look, I said this on Twitter, but I'm starting to think this movement is going to explode. There will be a new movement in the United States of America where people believe in eugenics again. But the eugenics this time is not going to be along racial lines. People are not going to think like the whiter you are, the higher your IQ is, and the darker you are, the lower your IQ is. There will be a movement which says, oh, we believe in eugenics, but it's the more conservative you are, the lower the IQ you have. That's where this country's going. Because at the rate they're going, the idiotic shit they're doing, how much they're destroying everybody's lives, embarrassing shit like this from new media, right? People are going to look at this and go, I'm sorry. Anybody left of center, by default, is going to be way more intelligent than this shit. All right, I'm still not done. Oh my God. Ready for this? Our immigration expert friend, Aaron Reichlin-Melnick, he says the following. And he was covering, one of these things live. Oh my God, the first question Levitt gets is from a far-right influencer who butters up Trump, then asks if and when Trump should suspend the writ of habeas corpus for deportations to get around judges. Not joking. So what the Supreme Court said is, hey, if you want to challenge your deportation, you can. You have to do it through this legal method called habeas corpus, because they try to do it a different way, and they were like, no, you got to do it through habeas corpus. And so this guy's like, why don't you cut off all of their avenues to have any process whatsoever, and why don't you suspend habeas corpus too? You should do that. So the question from the media is, why don't you try this even more extra fascist thing? New media was a fucking mistake, bro. New media was a fucking mistake. Now we'll go to this guy. This guy has been dubbed MAGA Malfoy, and you can see why, right? Let's see what he has to say. I don't think I've seen this clip yet.
The White House is crawling with kids. You have a young, beautiful baby boy. There are babies everywhere. There's so many young folks on staff who have kids. But the last 4 years under Joe Biden, parents were really stressed and ravaged. They had to take on 2 or 3 extra jobs. Depression rates were up. Suicide rates were up. You're a very high-profile young mother who seems to juggle and balance it all beautifully. What advice do you have to young parents out there who are starting their careers, having kids, building families, and trying to find that balance so desperately?
Yeah.
The White House is really great. And, I see you guys have a lot of kids because you're really pro-family. And so, you have kids. You love families. And what's it like balancing work life with family life? Thank you. Thank you, Mr. New Media MAGA Malfoy, for your fucking hard-hitting question. Is this not humiliating? Is it? Okay, I mean this in all sincerity. If you are right of center, MAGA or not, I'm asking you sincerely, is this not fucking humiliating to you? That this is what your side is doing? Is that not embarrassing to your core, what we're witnessing here? I mean, we've seen pathetic reporters in the past. We've seen the media do a bad job. These idiots make mainstream media look like fucking prime Michael Jordan. That's what they make them look like. And again, I'm so critical of mainstream media because I don't think they do nearly as good of a job and are nearly hard-hitting as they need to be. But this is next level, bro. They're breaking out the baby oil with every single fucking question that they ask. They're lighting a candle and dimming the lights and putting on Barry White in the background. How do you do this and then look at yourself in the mirror in the morning? We are talking about a regime that is warmongering with Greenland. They say they want to steal Greenland. They say they want to take and own Gaza and build fucking casinos and hotels on the beach and ethnically cleanse them and genocide them. They're currently bombing the Houthis on a daily basis where every day we have new pictures of babies that got their fucking heads blown off because they're nonchalantly blowing up innocent people. We heard the other day that there was a $60 million fighter jet on a U.S. warship and the fighter jet fell into the fucking water and we lost $60 million. Poof, gone like that. You have nothing of substance as nothing. The economy just contracted 0.3%. We have stagflation. Unemployment is going up. Prices are going up. Shelves are going to be fucking empty. And you're talking about kids in the White House? Oh my God, bro. Oh my God. So look, new media, independent media, call it what it is. This shit is a fucking cesspool, dog. And look, even if you go to the better examples, especially the ones on the right, talk about your Daily Wires, your Ben Shapiro's, those people are also a joke. Steven Crowder, they're also a joke, right? First of all, 90% of the time, they are rah-rah Trump, break out the pom-poms and defend whatever he does. And then the few times they disagree, it's, like I said, it's 5-10% of the time, maybe that. But then the next day, they're right back to saying this guy's great and better than the Democrats and all that bullshit, right? Even the best examples of so-called new media or independent media, these people, it's not even really independent media. They are fake independent media. They are new corporate media. They take all the corporate money in the fucking world. They have all these fucking brand deals. They're reading 17 ads per fucking show. And also, they're just a propaganda arm of this regime, this fascist robber baron regime. So, look, I said it before, I'll say it again. You earn my respect in this space by having a more pure funding model. That's how I know you're the real deal. What that means is you should lean as heavily as you can on crowdfunding, on grassroots donation. You guys fund this show through Patreon, $5 a month at a time. And the reason that's more sincere, that's more legit, that's more genuine is that the audience is really my boss. And they are signing up for, I'm going to have Kyle tell us the truth as he sees it and give us the facts. And yes, he has an ideology that comes as advertised, but this is what it is, right? And very few outlets actually fucking do that, right? Look, I have no problem with you. If you have decided I will do brand deals, but with brands I truly believe in, I can see that. That's acceptable. I've gone a slight step further where I said, I don't want to ever talk to an advertiser, right? But then there's some people who are even more pure than me, right? So I think of like Citations Needed. They don't even have any like default ads like we do with YouTube where there's a big buffer. Like, I'm fine with that ethically. They've gone even further. They're like, we literally only do crowdfunding, right? And it's like, if you can't say no to some weary forms of funding, then you are not independent media. You are not new media. You are new corporate media or fake independent media. And that's what these people need to understand. And the thing I can't get over is just how much they suck themselves off like they're different, like they're special, the Tim Pools of the world, when you're the fucking same. If anything, you're worse. Who gives more truth, CNN or Tim Pool? That is not a fucking tough question. And I'm no fan of CNN. But that is not a tough question, not even close. This is what the American people will think of now when you bring up new media. It's going to be fucking MAGA Malfoy here talking about how it's so amazing that you have kids in the White House. That's what they're going to be thinking of. Giving a horrible name to everybody who's in this field. Giving a horrible name to what we do. And dragging down us because you're just that horrific and that annoying. God, I'll never get over that. I'll never get over that. This is so embarrassing. And their end goal, by the way, let me just say this. They are working towards, and they'll probably get there. They already kicked the AP out. They already kicked out a bunch of different mainstream outlets that they're angry at them over one reason or another. They will eventually try to get to the point where the whole media is like this. All of these sycophants, all of these careerist, ladder-climbing, status chaser fascists. You understand? And so, I don't know. I'll never get over it. Just how much they've torn down what used to be the good name of new media or independent media. It is no such thing now. It is officially way, way more embarrassing than the mainstream media. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.